I think you had the right terminology, Ramon. It's just a bandaid.
Yeah.
Let's keep what Mike Vrabel and the Titans proposed and just table. But you had to know theirs was just radical enough that it was not going to be something that was going to be accepted at the owners' meetings. Even if it doesn't seem that radical. I'm being facetious by saying that, but they wanted to do something to, patch the tire and the bicycle tire that's getting flat here or whatever, and kick the can down the road. But I do agree with you that 4 or 5 years down the road, we're going to go, okay, it's time to revise this and do something, more significant.
It seems like you lengthen the game potentially, but you get to the same position where whoever gets the ball after the first possession, everybody gets in overtime. That team then still has the same advantage. All you've done is gone back to, well, why don't you just go back to regulation and make it sudden death? Why make them play another touchdown out?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't necessarily fix the problem, especially if the one that forced you to address this is a game where you knew the defenses weren't going to stop either one of the teams. I don't know what this accomplishes except extending a game, and maybe that's all they wanted.
And that's probably a part of it, too. And I think, sometimes you can do some stuff because social media makes it cool. I think it was so many rumblings and conversations about we needed more. This game shouldn't have ended this way. Or honestly, even the Raiders and Chargers game, the way that actually did end and had it ended in a tie, those types of conversations. I think it was because of that they listened to social media more than any doggone thing when it comes down to this. Because truth be told, it's not really solving anything. I was telling Jay when we were on break, man, when we first brought it up, is this side of it too. They can talk all they want to about health and safety, but these games with this overtime extends it, and you put guys still out there at more risk, which I get it. It's still exciting.
Yep.
But it also shortens their recovery.
In a 17-game season
Come on now, Rhett. You see what I'm saying?
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Don't bring health and safety to me if this is the best format we can do. No, go get it to somebody else. But again, the consumers want it, and the consumers get it.
Well, listen, after the Kansas City Buffalo game, you had to think something was coming.
Yeah.
And more than just, owners and teams and organizations complaining. I mean, I don't know how much of it is the social media part of it, but you knew something was going to get. I mean, every offseason rules. That's why there's a competition committee. There's a constant ebb and flow to modification of the rule book because of something that happens in a pivotal game that costs somebody something, or
just like that Saints-Rams game led to replay.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yep.
That's right.
The other part of it though is watching this all pretty much unfold, and you got to ask yourself, well, how's the game's going to be played out? Most of the times you try to beat a team before overtime starts. Do you wane to a finish because, well, at least we both going to get a possession in overtime? Kind of like one of those things, like the timeouts in basketball we've complained about a long time. Are we going to extend football too long to where you get tired of it? I don't know if that's to be the case, but we complain about basketball games being way too long, and we've also said when the refs throw too many penalties, man, just end the game, get out of the way of the flow of the game. And I think some teams might be more they might be more prone to let's just go to overtime. Since it's more fair now.
I think it depends on what what it is, and also philosophy with coaching style. There'll be some who are riverboat gamblers and go, let's put this away now.
Win or loss.
And maybe that causes us an L, but there's no need in thinking about playing another 10-minute period or whatever. So,
and all I can think of course, when we talk about the CBA and stuff like that is if they'll see you're basically getting another quarter, does that really mean you're going to get an 18th game?
18th game's coming.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're not going to be able to stop that.
This is a study from it. Why do we do the overtime rules now? Because it's a study of what happened during the course of however long it's been. You talk about 12 scenarios and 10 of the teams that got the ball first won. That's the reason we're changing it now. I'm sure they're going to look at what the timelines of our game, and if you added one more, well, maybe we'll take the overtime new rules out. Maybe it's just sudden death again.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's what you're effectively doing in a game where both defenses are not being able to stop opposing offenses is you're just giving one more touchdown for both teams, and then you're going to sudden death.
Yeah.
And I do think here you go to the college strategy where if I win the coin toss, I'm going to defer.
Yeah.
Because then I'll just go ahead and put my defense out there. I'll know what I have to do on offense when I go back out on the field at that point in time. If I stop them somehow, then I can go win the game myself in that way. You don't have to, because who's going to defer in overtime with the current rules? Well, at least until the rules yesterday. Nobody. Except for Marty Morningway.
Right.
Who's going to take the wind because, of course, Detroit took the wind in overtime.
Of course.
Detroit being on Hard Knocks, Rhett. It's about time to put that baby out to pasture.
The glue factory is calling.
Yeah.
I mean, look.
Old paint needs to be taken out back and shot.
Good night, old Yeller. It's good knowing you. You've been a good boy. This thing has been a long-running, 17, 18 seasons, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Mainly because the NFL wants that. Listen, it's just run its course. I haven't watched Hard Knocks, in a complete Hard Knocks season in years.
Me either.
And part of it is because, and I have a unique perspective because I see a lot of behind the curtains things, so I don't need to see that. I don't.
Yeah.
You know, and if something happened, confrontational or whatever.
That's what I was going to say.
Now, like one of the most confrontational thing or wow moments was when the Rams did it for that All or Nothing on Amazon.
Yeah.
And Coach Fisher was fired.
Yeah, Mac had to.
Coach Mac came in and said, every one of your, what's got this guy fired, me included.
Yeah.
Those are the things like, ooh.
The last one I watched was AB.
That's where I was going.
I watched the entire Raiders one.
Why, though?
Because of AB.
Yeah.
And because of Gruden.
What's going to happen next?
Like, that was a powder keg kind of deal. That was a reality TV show. Yeah. But outside of that, like, I can't even remember all the teams that have done it. But I remember a few select ones. I watched the Jets when Rex was a coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was
one was entertaining. I actually watched some of the Dolphins, but that started to wear on me after a little while, so I bailed on that. I might have watched the Texans because I remember watching JJ and his battle ropes at 3 a.m. with a personal camera crew. So he just does this. What? Hires a camera crew and then goes out at 3 a.m.? Because that part made a whole lot of sense. But AB was the show. What was going to happen with that scenario? Because that was Helmet Gate.
Yeah.
And everything else. That was the last one I watched.
It was Footgate, too.
That's right.
That's right.
Cryogenically frostbitten feet. That's right. That's right.
One of the,
how soon we forget.
And I think we missed the components of what actually is happening, though. Like, one of the biggest moments for me on that was friggin' Nuck Hopkins tearing D'Angelo Hall ACL. You remember that joint practice and stuff? Like, they don't even show the fights at joint practices when they are on there like that. Like, why are we deading that out? That's why we're tuning in. But when Nuck Hopkins told that man, I don't fear nobody, I fear God, homie. And like 10 minutes later, he tore his ACL. D'Angelo Hall tore his ACL trying to cover him. Like, that's what we're there for. Not that people.
So in other words,
he
should fear Nuck Hopkins. The second one right behind God.
Nothing to fear but fear itself and DeAndre Hopkins.
But I feel like it's run its course. I really do.